Welcome back again to day 5 of this Atal online 6 days faculty development program on innovating agri-tech for sustainable tomorrow, aligning with HDG goals. We welcome back again Dr. Shivashankar sir, who had addressed us on day 2 on agricultural practices and SDGs. And today we have back with sirs more enlightening session on food technology and India. So I once again welcome Dr. Shivashankar sir. Sir, over to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Once again.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Hope my screen is visible now, sir.
Yes, sir, it is visible, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Good evening to everybody. Hope you got a good information in the previous session, which was made by Dr. Virendra Narsaligi. In fact, previous speaker and mine topic both are same. In fact, many of the things which I planned, it's already covered by my elder good friend of Dr. Virendra Narsaligi. Still now I try to make the things in a more better way with more quite often practical aspects. As you all are aware, the technology, in fact, it's ruling the world itself. The every day we are finding in a latest technologies is incorporating in almost in all the sectors of an economy, right from medicine, agriculture, education sector, everything. As like even in food, in an agriculture also, by using this technology, in fact, we are using this technology right from enhancing the production, as well as we are using the technology in maintaining, or we are going to use it for storing for the tomorrow's purpose also, as well said by previous presenters. As and more to that, all you are aware, agricultural products are more in a seasonal in nature. We are going to get the crops only in the season, wherein the demand is spread throughout the year of 365 days. Obviously, whatever the productions will going to be get during the season, during the harvesting season, we need to maintain or we need to store in a good manner for tomorrow's also, as and when the demand arises from the customer. That is one reason where we wanted a technology to maintain a stock for tomorrow's purpose. And another one is, and due to this our changing food style, no doubt everywhere we are finding Indian foods are liking by other some other countries persons also, even as like Western foods are more preferably or more liking or more demand even in the even in the Indian village streets also. For example, maybe gobi manchuria or maybe noodles or these kind of things, fast foods are also acquired in Indian food markets. So at this junction, the technology is going to be playing a very vital role in right from in enhancing the production. Because in last sessions, day before yesterday, I mentioned it. One-sided, our agriculture land is getting converted into a non-agriculture purpose, maybe for industry, maybe for urbanizations, or maybe for housing or other purpose. One-sided, we are losing our agriculture land into a non-agriculture purpose. Another sided, across the globe, the population is increasing in a multifold times. So at this junction, in order to cater the needs of in order to cater the needs, the demands of a multiple population, the multiple folding growing population, uh,
So visible, sir. Now it's visible.
Visible now, na, sir?
Yes,
Sorry.
yes.
Sorry. In order to meet the catering, in order to meet the needs of a multiple folding growing populations, and another sided we are reducing the land. So at this junction, the technology plays a vital role right from in a production till reaching the end producer. That is, in a, right from the technology is required right from farm gate to in a food plate also, in order to make the products well available to in a customers also. So before going to this, I wanted to make you the brief introduction about the food technology in India. It involves the application of science and technology right from production, processing, preservation, and packaging. And India is a major producer and consumer of the food, with its food technology sectors growing very rapidly, with nearly an at 15% of an CAGR, that's a compounded annual growth rate. The food technology sector is growing with very high manner, and this sector integrates agricultural advancements with industrial processing to cater the domestic as well as in global markets. I will show you with some videos also how the Indian agricultural advancement is catering the needs of the domestic as well as in the global markets. And India's food technology sector is in a pivotal for addressing the food security as well as nutrition, which is a need of the hour. The as all you are aware, one of the SDG, that is which was given by United Nations, to provide a nutritious food for all the people. Not only the reducing or the zero hunger, even by attaining the zero hunger, there's an objective. They are having an objective to provide the nutritious foods also, and without compromising the economic growth of the countries, of the member countries of the United States. This food technology, it integrates the traditional food practices with modern technological advancement. And Indian food processing industry is the fifth largest world in terms of an employment, in terms of a turnover, and in terms of a contribution to the GDP also. And it contributes 14% to an India's GDP from the manufacturing sector and 13% to an exports also. The key sectors of an agriculture sectors are dairy, cereals, fruits and vegetables, and the beverages. Since the economic transformation in the early 90s, that is when LPG was incorporated into that's liberalization, privatization, and globalization was incorporated in the 90s, when Narsimha Rao was a prime minister and Manmohan Singh was a finance minister. India experienced a massive change in the food consumption pattern. There has been a decline in the cereal, especially the core cereal intake, where consumption of other food items like fruits, vegetables, and meat products has slightly increased, particularly in the rural Indias. Why? Because I'm talking, as all you are aware, Indian economy is more of an agrarian economy, and predominantly by nearly 65,000 villages across India. This is with respect to the scope of food technological in India. Food technology plays a vital role in enhancing food security, improving nutrition, and promoting sustainable practices. The main areas of being in a food technology we need to encompass as innovations in the food processing, packaging, preservation, and safety, addressing the needs of a growing population, which I mentioned just few seconds back. We need to address the needs of the growing population is a very important aspect. This is with respect to a flourishing industry. Food technological industry is in a very flourishing industry. Why? Because the Indian food processing industry is a major contributor to an economy with robust growth and rising demand for a processed foods. And this is in a diverse sector because this sector encompasses a wide range of sub-industries, right from fruits and vegetable processing to dairy and the meat production itself. It is not only dairy, this one, helping only this one, even this food technology, even which helps the other subsectors also. Means India's food processing industry is estimated contribute to an over of 35% of the country's GDP and employing the millions of the people day by day, which is a need of the hour for an Indian economy. Why? Because the major two evils of an Indian economy are, one is growing population, another one is an unemployment. So at this juncture, for a growing population, countries like in India, finding a solution for our unemployment problem, this particular food industry, that's a technology, by using this food technological industry is going to be in a little bit solution, but to eradicate our unemployment problem also. Before going to next slide, I wanted to make you to expose some video with respect to a mega kitchen of an IG3, that's an international, that's an Indira Gandhi International Airport. Let us see this video. I hope you people are seeing my video.
Yes, sir.
You are seeing my video screen? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Are
Yes,
you
sir.
able to seeing my video?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, fine then.
मेगा किचन में वर्ल्ड कुजीन की सबसे शानदार डिशेस दुनिया भर में सैर करने वालों के लिए बन रहे हैं। दिल्ली के मेगा इन फ्लाइट केटरिंग किचन।
हमारे ऑपरेशंस 24/7 चलते हैं। हम हर रोज काम करते हैं और कभी भी अपने गेट्स को लॉक नहीं करते।
न्यू दिल्ली का इंदिरा गांधी इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट इंडिया के बिजिएस्ट एयरपोर्ट्स में से एक है। हर साल यहाँ से करीब 4 करोड़ पैसेंजर्स आते जाते हैं। हर रोज यहाँ दुनिया भर की एयरलाइंस सही वक्त, प्रिसिशन और एफिशिएंसी की मिसाल कायम करती हैं। एयरलाइंस से सफर करने वालों को उनकी मंजिल तक सही सलामत पहुंचाया जाता है और ये भी देखा जाता है कि आसमान में उनके इस सफर का एक्सपीरियंस सेफ, रिलैक्सिंग और डिलीशियस हो। और यहीं पर काम शुरू होता है ताज सैट्स दिल्ली के मेगा किचन्स का। पहली नजर में ये किसी भी दूसरे 5 स्टार किचन जैसा दिखता है, जहां ऐसी लजीज डिशेस बनती हैं जो किसी भी हाई क्लास कस्टमर को खाने के लिए ललचा सकें।
बेसिकली हमारी कोशिश ये होती है कि एयरलाइंस की तरफ से जो गाइडलाइंस मिली है उसके दायरे में रहकर हम अपना बेस्ट करें और ज्यादा से ज्यादा पैसेंजर्स को खुश कर सकें।
इन फ्लाइट केटरिंग किचन में ये एक आम दिन है। इसका मतलब है कि यहाँ 16 इंटरनेशनल एयरलाइंस और 3 डोमेस्टिक एयरलाइंस का खाना बन रहा है और ये एक ऐसे फ्लीट को सर्व किया जाएगा जिसमें दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा पैसेंजर एयरलाइन शामिल है, एयरबस 380। और टारगेट क्या है? 22,000 से भी ज्यादा मील्स को पकाकर पैक करके दिन खत्म होने से पहले डिस्पैच करना। और चैलेंज है सब कुछ सही समय पर करना ताकि फ्लाइट टेक ऑफ कर सके। ये है D-24। फ्लाइट किचन की भाषा में इसका मतलब है कि मील्स को डिस्पैच करने में उनके पास 24 घंटे है। ताज सैट्स के दिल्ली ऑपरेशंस कंट्रोल रूम में इट्स गो टाइम। केटरिंग की दुनिया में ये एयर ट्रैफिक कंट्रोल के बराबर है, जहां हर फ्लाइट के अराइवल और डिपार्चर के वक्त के एक सेकंड का हिसाब रखा जाता है। उसी तरह यहाँ हर फ्लाइट के एग्जैक्ट लोड या नंबर ऑफ पैसेंजर्स का भी हिसाब होता है। अगले 24 घंटों में करीब 700 से 750 अलग अलग डिशेस इस किचन में बनाई जाएंगी। उनमें बनेगा ब्रेकफास्ट, लंच और डिनर। साथ ही में बनेंगे स्वीट एंड सेवरी स्नैक्स, बेक्ड आइटम्स और ढेर सारे माउथ वाटरिंग डिजर्ट्स। ऑलमोस्ट हर इन फ्लाइट मील की कहानी रिसीविंग एरिया से शुरू होती है। यहीं पर हर ताजा प्रोड्यूस, सब्जियों से लेकर फल, मीट और सी फूड सबसे पहले आते हैं। वक्त बीता जा रहा है, अब है D-15। सिर्फ 15 घंटों में आज के फ्लाइट मील्स को टेक ऑफ के लिए तैयार रहना होगा। ये एग्जीक्यूटिव शेफ अरुण बत्रा की जिम्मेदारी है और ये इतना बड़ा किचन है कि इसके अपने ही अलग अलग आइलैंड्स हैं।
इस वक्त हम मेन किचन एरिया के बीचों बीच खड़े हैं। मेन किचन को बांटा गया है 4 आइलैंड्स में। पहला आइलैंड जहां हम इस वक्त खड़े हैं वो है बिजनेस क्लास और फर्स्ट क्लास के लिए। यहाँ पर हम सभी एयरलाइंस के बिजनेस क्लास और फर्स्ट क्लास मील्स की पूरी कुकिंग करते हैं, इंक्लूडिंग सिंगापुर एयरलाइन और विस्तारा के लिए। अगला आइलैंड जिसकी ओर अभी हम बढ़ रहे हैं वो है ब्रेकफास्ट का आइलैंड। इसमें ऑमलेट्स बनाए जाते हैं। इस पूरे किचन में हम रोजाना करीब 6000 अंडे इस्तेमाल करते हैं, जिनसे कई एयरलाइंस के लिए ऑमलेट्स, स्क्रैम्बल्ड एग्स, फ्रेंच टोस्ट और अंडे से बनी दूसरी चीजें भी बनाई जाती हैं। ये है तीसरा आइलैंड और ये इस किचन की जान है। इस एरिया पर यहाँ का करीब 70% प्रोडक्शन लोड पड़ता है। ये है दी इंडियन किचन एरिया, जहाँ वेजिटेरियन कुकिंग की जाती है एंटायर एयरलाइंस के लिए, सिंगापुर, विस्तारा, एयर इंडिया और दूसरी एयरलाइंस के लिए भी। हमारे यहाँ इस किचन में ज्यादातर यूज होता है पनीर, सब्जियां और कुकिंग के लिए कई सारी दूसरी नेसेसरी चीजें भी।
मिशेलिन स्टार्ड शेफ्स इस बात पर नाज करते हैं कि वो परफेक्टली कुक्ड डिशेस को सीधे पैन से प्लेट पर बिल्कुल फ्रेश सर्व करते हैं। इन फ्लाइट केटरिंग में पैक्ड मील्स होते हैं जिन्हें पकने के कई घंटों बाद खोला जाएगा, और इसीलिए ताज सैट्स दिल्ली के किचन्स के शेफ्स को एक अनोखे किस्म के कुलिनरी चैलेंज को जीतना होता है।
फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर हमें बनाना है रोगन जोश, आई कांट डू लैम विद बोन्स, और ना ही करी बना सकता हूँ जो बहुत तीखी हो। एक प्लेन क्रिस्प डोसा एयरक्राफ्ट में सर्व नहीं होता क्योंकि हमारी कुछ लिमिटेशंस हैं। तो चैलेंज है कि मेन्यू को रिवाइज करें, रेसिपी को मॉडिफाई करें कुछ इस तरह की जो लिमिटेड स्पेस एयरक्राफ्ट में अवेलेबल होती है, उसमें हम अपने वैल्यूड पैसेंजर्स को एक ऐसा खाना दें जो दिखता बढ़िया हो, टेस्टी भी हो और सभी लोगों को बहुत पसंद आए।
डिपार्चर का समय अब बहुत जल्द आने वाला है। अब है D-1, यानी 1 घंटे बाद व्हील वैन्स को निकलना होगा। वक्त है आखिरी बार ट्रॉलीज को चेक करने का। साइंड ऑफ और सील्ड कार्ट्स को लोडिंग डॉक्स पर लाइंस में रखा जाता है। डिपार्चर का वक्त जब नजदीक आता है, हाई लिफ्ट्स नाम की स्पेशल वैन्स उन्हें उनके डेजिग्नेटेड डॉक तक पहुंचाती हैं। 1 घंटे से भी कम समय में उन्हें लोड करके एयरपोर्ट ले जाना होगा अपनी फ्लाइट में पहुंचाने के लिए, जो किसी भी वजह से रुक नहीं सकती।
अगर हमें एयरक्राफ्ट तक 6 बजे पहुंचना है तो हमें हर हाल में 6 बजे तक पहुंचना है, चाहे कुछ हो जाए। बाहर के हालात चाहे कितने बुरे भी क्यों ना हो, हमें ये इंश्योर करना होता है कि हमारे प्रोसीजर सही हो ताकि हम ऑन टाइम डिलीवरी कर सकें।
कुछ ही मिनट्स में सैकड़ों मील्स को रेफ्रिजरेटेड वैन्स में लोड किया जाता है। कुकिंग प्रोसेस की तरह लोडिंग में भी स्ट्रिक्टली प्रोटोकॉल का पालन होता है। ट्रॉलीज को बिल्कुल उसी सीक्वेंस में अंदर भेजा जाता है जिस सीक्वेंस में वो एयरक्राफ्ट की गैलीज में लोड की जाएंगी। फ्लाइट ताज सैट्स किचन के केटरिंग मील्स को लेकर उड़ान भरती है। ये एयरक्राफ्ट अपने जैसे अनगिनत दूसरे एयरक्राफ्ट की तरह दूर अपनी मंजिल की ओर बढ़ता है। इसी दौरान कंट्रोल रूम में दोबारा एक नई शुरुआत होती है। पैसेंजर लोड्स की एक और नई लिस्ट यहाँ आती है। बहुत जल्द पूरा साइकिल फिर से शुरू होगा। टॉप शेल्फ इंग्रेडिएंट्स को एक्सपर्ट शेफ्स नया रूप देंगे। मील्स को परफेक्टली असेंबल किया जाएगा। एयरलाइन प्रोटोकॉल्स का सख्ती से पालन होगा ताकि पैसेंजर्स अपनी फ्लाइट के दौरान बेहतरीन क्वालिटी के वर्ल्ड क्यूजीन का मजा ले सकें। Hello everyone. You all are welcome.
Hello. Hope I think everybody have seen this video. I think this video has shown in what direction our Indian food technology is moving it in with the different perspectives. If you looked out this video, we can easily say what are all the technologies we are using it in the food technology, especially by the supply chain management. As you've seen right from the first minute to the last second of the video, 24/7, it means 24 hours, full 24 hours a day, that this one kitchen is going to be in work on the different aspects. And during the process of making the foods, probably you people have observed how the hygienic is going to be an important, and at what level the hygienic is going to be is going to be maintained while delivering a food for a valued customer, irrespective of an domestic customers or maybe an international flight customers. Then the next aspect probably which you observed is the packaging, because nowadays packaging is also utmost important to sell the products in a well mannered to any customers. Why? Because people that being in a customer, they are giving much importance for the both content as well as in a container also. It means the container, the packaging aspect, the packaging material should also to be in a more appealing, and it should be an aesthetic, and it should be a maintain the nutritional quality of the inner products also, the whatever the food products is going to be wrapped in the different packagings. And next one is that is satisfying the multinational customers. As you are aware in this, as you observed in this video, being in a Taj Stats kitchen, just whatever the for this one the meals on an average the 22,000 meals they are supplying, it is only for in a 16 international flights and 3 domestic flights. Only at this moment also they need to prepare the different countries food products also. To some customers they need to produce or they need to cook the Chinese or continental or some Indian foods also. It means that based on the requirements or the needs or the demand or the order which was already previously, that's a prior taken before flying from the customers, as per their requirement they need to cook the food products also. And the next one is, and more to that, whenever they are supplying the products to their customers, even they need to follow some food there's a food guidelines also, that's a regulations, international guidelines, wherein especially for the food technology, the major food guidelines for at an international level, that's a food regulations called by an HACCP. It means ASAP. It means the full form of this ASAP is hazardous analysis critical control point. It means whenever we wanted to supply the food products to in some countries, either it may be in America or Australia or any other country, we need to follow their country's rules and food regulations as well as in legislations. So being in a this one catering or maybe in the food technology, even we need to keep in mind the regulations of the different countries aspects also. And another one is nutritions. Without deteriorating the nutritions, we need to supply the products, we need to supply the food items even on the air as well as even on the land also I'm talking. And major all these aspects, you are means you are going to be fine. The ultimate aim of this is to satisfy the value customers at this moment. In order to satisfy the value customers and in the present era, obviously inevitably we need to go for using a latest AI technology or any other robotic technology itself. And why? Because as I already mentioned, our food style, our food habit was entirely changed, or it was entirely transformed, especially after 1990s. So most of the people, you are finding here, being in a Taj stats, it's just an example I showed you in this video. Even we are finding savory snacks, even vegetarian, non-vegetarians also, and varieties of the foods are also people are going to be seek as an during their dining itself on. In this, probably you people have observed, being in a Taj stats only just for 16 international and 3 domestic flights, they are using roughly 6,000 eggs out of for a 22,000 meals. It means that by looking out of the customer preferences or customer tastes and preferences, being in a vendors or a Taj stats or any other persons, they need to use the technology in order to cater the needs of the customers also. Let me see the historical evolution of food technology. No doubt, whatever the video I am just showing, these are all the latest technologies by using the latest AI or maybe in a technologies, maybe supply chain management. They are doing it earlier also. With this on food technologies were there. I will show you in the next video. In recent, maybe in the modern times, what are all the food technologies in order to store the food grains for a longer period? I will show you in the next video also. The traditional Indian food industry began with the local and small scale food processing methods. Post independence, there was a shift towards organized food processing with government and private sector investments. The recent decades, just 1 or 2 decades, have witnessed a focus on innovation, quality standards, and export driven production also. Why? As I mentioned you, after signing to this 1990s LPG, after being in a member country of a WTO and a GATT of an India, obviously whatever the products are going to be produced in our farmland, we need to think that needs the quality should be an export quality itself, and then only we can able to fetch a higher price for our Indian farmers markets. As otherwise the products are not going to be even accepted. That's a minimum expectations at in foreign markets also. These are all some advancement in the Indian, that's in a food processing, not only Indian, it's in worldwide. Introduction of a vacuum packaging, that is in a, probably you people are finding this kind of a vacuum packaging in our lace, that's in chips itself. And freeze drying techniques to enhance the shelf life. Why? Because as I mentioned very clearly, the major thing we need to keep in mind for, especially for agriculture products, is the products are going to be, we're going to get it only in the harvesting season, but demand is throughout the year, throughout this one. So in order to maintain the needs or to cater the needs even in the off season of the products, we need to go for this kind of techniques also. And development of the ready to eat and convenience foods catering to an urban lifestyles, and technologies for minimal processing to retain nutritional value without compromising this nutritional loss of food and products. Either it may be vegetarian or maybe non-vegetarian or any even even in organic foods also. Food technological food packing innovations, use of biodegradable and eco-friendly packaging materials, which is the need of the hour, because one of our SDG is to maintain our economic, that's an eco-friendly practices also, environment saving. The next one is, that's a map, that's a modified atmosphere packaging to maintain a freshness or a crispiness of the products. And smart packaging equipped with the sensors to track the food quality also, because sometimes we need to ship the products from one country to the another country. Sometimes it's not possible through an airlines, that's an airways. Sometimes we need to send it by seaways. This one we need to send it by ships also. At that moment, sometimes it will take more than 1 month or 2 months, 3 months, 4 months also, but depending upon the distance of an origin as well as in a destiny country. At that moment, we are going to be use this kind of a smart packaging, especially for bulk agriculture products. And this is with respect to a role of food technology in nutrition. As I mentioned you, we need to retain the nutritional value in the food. In order to maintain this retention of the nutrition, that's a fortification of staples like rice, wheat, and milk to address the malnutrition, and development of a functional food enriched with vitamins and minerals, and focus on producing the low calories, because nowadays everybody are becoming in a more health consciousness. So at this moment, being a technologist, they need to keep in mind before venturing any technology, they need to go for producing the low calorie, high protein, and gluten free food options. Gluten means that is kind of a sugary kind of a products, because as you are aware, people are more susceptible nowadays for easily they are going to get yield for a BP, as that's a blood pressure as well as a diabetic. So in order to keep in mind, for this innovation is going to be in help or will going to shaping our future in a well manner by using an artificial intelligence and internet of things, are revolutionizing the food processing by optimizing the efficiency, enhancing the safety, and improving the quality control. The next one is, that's a smart packaging, which already I mentioned you. Package is an important matter for any products, for any customers. That will appeal, that will attract the customers to purchase their products. So smart packaging technologies like time, temperature indicators, and sensors are enhancing the food safety and extending the shelf life also. And preservation techniques, because innovative preservation techniques are like high pressure processing and pulsed electric fields, as well as and extending the shelf life and retaining the nutritional products also. These are all the key areas of food technology development. The first one is the development of an advanced food preservation techniques such as the vacuum packaging as well as freezer drying and all. Innovations in packaging technology to extend. For this reason only, in India, there is an exclusive research agency for packaging, Indian Institute of Packaging, where they keeps on always they are doing the research and development activities. How best we can use the latest technology for upcoming with the different types of packaging for the different products, and fortification of foods to address the nutritional deficiency in the population, because being an agriculture, that's an agriculture products are more susceptible for moisture as well as for temperature and other climatic aspects. Easily the agriculture products will get into this one. Agriculture products will this one malnutrified. So in order to address this malnutrified deficiency in the food product storage, this fortification will going to be helps. And being in a government, either it may be central government and state government and some NGOs and some private companies, corporate companies are also doing this kind of a job where they are coming up with the latest technology addressed for these food aspects. One is establishment of a Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, that's an FSSAI, for quality assurance to the customers, as like ISI mark, as well as like for BIS mark for different products. Introduction of policies and subsidies to encourage the food processing units and the startups. No doubt, as we all are aware, as I mentioned you, nearly 65,000 villages are there in an Indian geographical initiatives. So whatever the products are going to be grown in the different agroclimatic regions, that crop needs to be get processed, that the crops needs to be get into value added products like tomato into a ketchup or maybe in a sauce or kind of in a different there's purees and all these kind of chutneys and these things. Then only we can able to store for longer period, as like we can sell it to other this some country customers, as well as we can use it for our Indians for the tomorrows also. There were few some schemes by a government of India like Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana to strengthen the infrastructure and the supply chain in the rural areas of India. No doubt, this particular scheme is doing very well by giving more subsidies for any youths, whoever will going to be take up any kind of startups or agri-tech aspects in the different regions of the country. And the role of this one, subsidies and incentives for startups in the food technology space also. These are all some success stories and the government supports. That's in startups. That's an innovative Indian food technological startups are making a mark with their cutting edge technologies and disruptive business models also. The government initiatives like that's in Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana is a flagship program aimed at promoting the food processing infrastructure and supporting farmers. And the main aim is to have a global impact. That's in India's food tech industry is gaining global recognition, attracting investments and partnerships with the international companies also. These are all other aspects, the environmental, because we are not supposed to use all kind of technology in the agricultural food technology, because we need to grow the food for today, as well as we need to maintain the environment to grow the food even for the tomorrows also. So at this moment, environmental issues in the food technology is utmost important. High level of water and energy consumption is processing. We need to think of to save the water as well as an energy, because as I mentioned you, this one present this one Prime Minister of India, that's Narendra Modi, has came up with a scheme that one drop more crop. It means that we need to grow the more crop with reduction use of water also. That's a packaging waste contributing to the environmental pollution, because we need to think of we should not pollute too much our existing environment. We need to maintain the environment even for tomorrow's growth also. And that's an over reliance on non-sustainable practices in the production, in the food production, and need for innovation in eco-friendly packaging and waste management solutions is also need of the hour. We should keep in mind before using any technology or before innovating any technology into any food industries also. And one thing, I am getting some some questions in the chat box. I will try to answer your queries in the last itself. Okay, for Vinay Kulkarni and all. These are all the challenges. Definitely, obviously, without challenges, we cannot able to reach our objectives in a well manner. Where there is a risk, there is a profit. Obviously, if we wanted to make our food technological sector with more viable, profitable, pleasurable, obviously we need to face some challenges, as in especially the Indian economy. These are all some good. These are all the challenges. Definitely, we should make us to tackle all these challenges. Then only we can able to make our food technological sector is in a more vibrant economy as compared to other sectors itself. One is, that's the first one, is lack of infrastructure and cold storage facilities for perishable products, especially fruits and vegetable products. No doubt, right from our state government and even central government, even some agencies like NABARD, where they are trying to refinancing, where they are trying to finance the farmers to come up with their own godans, even in the rural villages like Krishi Bandar Yojana in Karnataka, even in Maharashtra also. Okay, and high cost of technology adoption for the small scale industries, even through an MSME as well as even in the KVIC, even at a state level, maybe in a KSFC, that's a Karnataka State Financial Corporations, where they are trying to motivate the people to use the latest technology, even at a level of a small as well as a micro and small industries also. Okay, and high cost of adopting the advanced technologies for the small industries, ensuring the food safety and compliance with the global quality standards, which is a very most important. Otherwise, we are not going to be find a position in the global competition. If we are adhere, then only we are going to be in the competition. Otherwise, the global competitions will throw out of the competitions if we not adhere to the global rules and regulations or the food standards itself. And limited skill force trained in the modern food technologies. That's why for that reason, especially as a nodal agency of an agriculture and allied education and a skill oriented nodal agency like ICR, that is an Indian Council of Agriculture Research, have started the food technology as in a 4 years degree program right from undergraduate program. Earlier, this food technology as an just we are having only the subjects in the late of 90s and 80s, wherein from 2000 onwards, the ICR, that's an Indian Council of Agriculture Research, have started as given an option to come up with a 4 years degree program, even in the state agricultural universities, as well as even in our state traditional universities also. Even in many of the universities, they are having the post graduation department called often a food technological department. In Karnataka, we have an exclusive one research center based organization itself, CFTRI, that's a Central Food and Technological Research Institute, where they keeps on doing how best we can improve the packaging or shelf life of products. Otherwise, it's not going to be possible to cater or feed this growing population in the coming days itself. Okay, so these are all again challenges we need to address it. These are all the pathways, these are all the road, these are all the ways where we need to think of the future. That's in a development in the research and development, investment in the research and development to innovate the affordable technologies. I do agree all technologies are not going to be affordable for small and marginal farmers, even to an extent of large farmers also. Means we should think the least cost technological and which can be easily adoptable by an Indian farmers at right from their farm level itself, at the growing, that's on production level, as well as harvesting technology, even the post harvest technologies also, because which was mentioned very aptly by Virender, that's Dr. Virender, earlier speaker. Nearly 25 to 30% of our food grains are going to be waste once the products has been harvested at a farm level, either during transportation or during warehousing or during while bringing to a market for retail markets or anything. Especially in the fruits and vegetables, nearly 40 to 45% is going to be wasted during the post-harvest technology. Why? Because of this perishability. In India, still our fruits and vegetables are not going to be packed in a scientific packaging. Obviously, the things are going to be wrapped unscientifically in gunny bags or open this one in trucks or maybe in small vehicles. So all those aspects needs to be get altered in line with the present technologies. Then only we can able to save the losses also. And development of a robust cold chain infrastructure across the country. No doubt the things are already in the pipeline from last 2 decades. Still, the things are not in and up to the mark, because we need to find minimum at least one cold chain in each village. Whatever the products, either it may be paddy or it may be wheat or maybe tamarind or potato, anything, it needs to be we can able to store for a longer period also. For this, introduction of a skill development program for a workforce training, the skill development department needs to be address these issues. They need to give a skill-based training program for our rural people, especially the farmers and the agriculture laborers. Then only we can able to reduce the losses even at a farm level, even at the later part at the marketing, as well as even in the markets also. And promotion of sustainable practices to address the environmental concerns. I do agree technology is important for survive today as well as to make sustainability for tomorrow, but at meantime we are not supposed to dilute or pollute the environment itself. Means without compromising the environmental aspects, we need to think of the technologies to take or make us better tomorrow's life itself. On these are all the opportunities and prospectus: rising urbanization and demand for ready to eat and convenience foods. For this, we can easily go for a value addition of an existing raw food products itself. Okay, and increase the focus on health and wellness, driving growth in fortified and functional foods also, and export opportunities due to India's diverse agriculture base, and potential of a technology integration such as artificial intelligence, IoT, and blockchain for a supply chain optimization also, and government initiatives with respect to fostering the growth in the food processing industry. For this reason, the government has came up exclusive ministry with the name of an APEDA, APEDA, Agricultural Foods Processing and Export Development Authority. As like there are plenty inline departments are there where they are trying to educate or create an awareness among the farmers, as well as even they are trying to even they are trying to set up some food processing industry even at a village level, as well as even at an urban levels also. This is with respect to the future of the food, a sustainable path. One is supply chain. As I mentioned you, whatever the products are going to be produced at a farm level, before it reaches till it reaches the farm plate, that's a consumer plate, the supply chain needs to be more integrated. It needs to be more efficiency as well as an effective manner. The next aspect is health and sustainability. As I mentioned you very clearly, many of the people, we are getting in a diseases because of our bad food habits, or because of our, that is in a lack of nutritional food habits itself. Okay, as compare you, for example, if you think our young, this one elder generation, they are living, their lifespan was roughly more than 85 years or 90 years, wherein in the recent statistics, the recent population census lifespan was reduced to 57 years nowadays. It's all because of our food habitat as well as lifestyle habits itself. So food technology holds the potential to address the critical issues like malnutrition, food security, as well as sustainable agriculture. Sustainable means, as I mentioned you in the last this one presentation also, we need to make them farmers, make them sustainable agriculture. Otherwise, they will also going to shift to a non-agriculture practice. At that moment, growing the food grain products is going to be very difficult. Machines are not going to be grow to 100% without the real farmers in the field itself. So by having a good supply chain, and by maintaining the, by considering the health and sustainability, we need to think of the economic growth also by fostering or by innovating the latest or good technologies, that is an adaptable technologies, relevant Indian farmers technologies, and which will help us, which needs to be help us to creating the jobs. Because as I mentioned you, unemployment is in a big problem for an Indian economy, because nearly 148 crores population, hardly 30 to 40% of the people are having an employment after their graduation or after their this one qualification. We need to think of to create the jobs by using the latest technologies also. And driving exports, somewhere we should think of to become a self-reliant without depending much on the other countries. We need to think of an sustainability as well as survivability by production, or by having our own indigenous food grain production as well as our own technologies. Otherwise, if we dependent more on any other country for technology or food grain or any food products, it's not going to be a good sign for any country, and not only for India. And food technology contributes significantly to India's economical development. Before going to this, again I wanted to show you a small video with respect to the this one olden days food preservation methods.
Hello everyone. You all are welcome to my channel. Have you ever wondered how our ancestors kept their food fresh for longer time? Do you have any idea? It might surprise you to know that ancient civilizations had some pretty clever ways of preserving their food. Well, in this video, we are going to explore some of these amazing traditional food preservation techniques that were used all around the world in order to keep their food safe and delicious for months, even years. Without further delay, let's start. First up, let's talk honey. Honey isn't just delicious, It's also a powerful natural preservative. Ancient civilizations like the Egyptians and Greeks used honey to preserve fruits and nuts, keeping them from spoiling for long periods. For example, in ancient Greece, quince was mixed with honey, dried somewhat, and packed tightly into jars to keep it fresh. The Romans later improved on this method by cooking the quince with honey, creating a solid, jam-like texture that could be stored for even longer. But did you know that some indigenous peoples, like those in Sri Lanka, even used honey to store meat? They immersed meat in vats of bee honey to prolong their shelf life. How does this work? Well, honey is a hypertonic solution as honey contain a lot of sugar and very little water, which creates a dry environment. This difference causes water inside the food like fruits, vegetables or meat to naturally move out into the honey, a process known as osmotic dehydration. Without much water left in the food, bacteria and other microbes can't grow, so the food doesn't spoil as quickly. Plus, honey has natural antibacterial properties, making it an even more effective preservative. Next, we look at one of oldest traditional food preservation methods. It is sun drying. We know sun is a free source of energy. Ancient cultures, like in Egypt and the Mediterranean, would lay out fruits, vegetables, or fish in the sun to dry. In sun drying food is exposing to the sunlight. It will remove the moisture within the food due to sun heat and action of wind. It, as it reduces the free water available for action of spoilage microbes, it will increase their shelf life. Well, salting is another traditional food preservation method. Interesting fact is Roman soldiers received salarium or salt as their payment, which lead to the origin of today's term salary. So we can understand how salting is important in Romans' life. Salt has been a precious commodity throughout history, and not just for seasoning. Its ability to draw out moisture made it one of the most effective preservatives. By salting meat or fish, ancient people could prevent bacterial growth, allowing them to store protein-rich foods for a long period. Let's move on to smoking. This method was used to preserve meat and fish. Did you know that smoking meat goes all the way back to the time of the cavemen? It's believed that early humans would hang their meat to dry inside their homes, and they accidentally discovered that the smoke from a nearby fire did something amazing. Not only did it give the meat a delicious, smoky flavor, but it also helped to preserve it. The smoke slowed down the growth of bacteria and kept insects away, making the meat last longer. So, what started as an accidental discovery became a tried and true method for keeping food fresh. Now, let's dive into pickling, a method that's been around for thousands of years. It all started way back in 2400 BC in the ancient Tigris Valley, where the Mesopotamians discovered that soaking food in salty, acidic brine could preserve it. But they didn't just find a way to make their food last longer. They also found that it made the food taste even better. Pickling was a practical solution for keeping fruits, vegetables, and even meats fresh long after the harvest by lowering pH value. But it wasn't just about preservation. Pickling added a delicious tangy flavor that made meals more exciting, allowing people to enjoy a variety of foods all year round. Next, we move into fermentation. Fermentation is a marvel of nature, transforming simple ingredients into complex, flavorful, and preserved foods. By harnessing the power of natural bacteria, ancient cultures could convert sugars into alcohol or acids, creating environments where harmful bacteria couldn't thrive. From the tangy kimchi of Korea to the sour sauerkraut of Europe, and the creamy yogurt of Central Asia, fermentation not only preserved food but also added valuable nutrients, making it a staple in diets worldwide. Well, the next method is freezing. Did you know freezing has been used to preserve food for centuries in cold climates? Before we had refrigerators, people relied on nature's freezer, burying food in snow or underground to keep it fresh and all winter long. This led to the creation of ice houses, where ice was stored after being harvested from lakes and rivers. Ice houses kept food cool during the warmer months. Ice boxes were the next step, smaller, insulated boxes that used blocks of ice to keep food chilled. These methods worked well until the 1800s, when artificial refrigeration was invented, changing food preservation forever. The principle of preservation through freezing relies on the fact that extremely low temperatures slow down or stop the growth of bacteria, yeast, and molds, which are responsible for food spoilage. Freezing also slows down the enzyme activity that causes food to ripen and eventually spoil. Well, I think up to now you may have a good idea about traditional methods of food preservation. Today we talked about 7 methods including dipping in honey, sun drying, salting, smoking, pickling, fermentation, and freezing. Hope you all enjoy the today video, and you may learn something out of it. So if you're willing to see more videos,
Fine then. I think hope you people have learned how our ancestors, right from our Mesopotamia civilization, how the food products are going to be saved or it's going to be stored for a longer period by using the different techniques right from their time. The things are not any new, only whatever the ideas or whatever the principle behind this one. On that basis, the present technologies are coming up, right from dipping in an honey, sun drying, salting. In fact, in the video, I don't know how many people have observed it or not. Especially on those days for their soldiers, they in the wage farm they are giving in a salts to their this one soldiers. By using that salt, they are going to be use that salt to preserve their food items for tomorrow's purpose also. Smoking, pickling, as well as fermentation and the freezing. No doubt, these kind of technologies are in a basic or in this one ancestral this one technology. On that basis, only thing we need to create the still more innovativeness on the basic principle itself. Okay, let we discuss about the rise of the food technology, especially in India. As we all are aware, and I mentioned you this one, our food and taste preferences are keeps changing very drastically over the period of time, especially from the last 2 decades. Okay, that's so today we explore the exciting world of food technology in India, delving into a significant current landscape, challenges, and opportunities. Because, as I mentioned you, because of the rising demand for the processed and convenience foods in urban areas, export opportunities driven by India's diverse agricultural base, integration of artificial intelligence and IoT and blockchain technology. Okay, by looking at of all these things, easily we can think of we can, being an Indians, if we encash these opportunities, definitely the future of an Indian food technologies lies in sustainability and inclusivity also. We can able to find an inclusive growth among all the sectors. If we increase or if we work really hard on this with the latest technology of food technology, surely even you can find a positive impact even in the manufacturing sector, as well as in tertiary sectors like banking or health or any other aspects also. That's why the food technology is an integral to an India's progress in ensuring the nutrition, reducing the wastage, which is a need for our, because which I always keeps saying and believing, more than earning, we need to focus on saving the things. Saving is more than any earning. As like the reducing the wastage is more than the growing extra itself. Whatever the products, food products are already growing, if we use it in a well manner, we don't want to require any further technology with respect to any further enhancing the growth or any production technologies itself. Only thing we need to focus more on post growing or the post productional technologies. Why? Because due to this advent of this GM, that's in a genetically modified crops, in almost this one already we have reached the maximum food grain production. Even we have a surplus food grain production in an India as compared to in a previous years or a previous decades, because of the latest technologies really which was harnessed by our great India, this one agricultural scientists or an agricultural university teachers. Really they are this one they are doing a very marvelous job, right from our Indian Green Revolution father, that's in a Dr. Swaminathan, as well as in Global Green Revolution father, that's in a Dr. Norman Borlaug. Really they are given in a well base or a well foundation how to we need how well we need to go ahead about with respect to an agricultural research and development. Already agriculture scientists are doing very well, and that's why we are finding most of our agriculture products are surplus, and the agriculture products are selling at a distressed sale. Distressed means at a very low price even on our footpaths in many times. The production is no doubt, there is no dearth or there is no deficiency in a surplus, there is no deficiency in a production. We have a surplus production even in the wheat, rice, jawar, bajra, vegetables, fruits and any vegetable also. Only thing we need to focus more on post-productional technologies, how best we can use whatever the products are already produced or producing by our this one real dedicated farmers, and we need to think of the post-harvest technological aspects, which will going to be helps even the boosting the economic growth also, and addressing the current challenges requires a coordinated efforts from among all the stakeholders. This sector holds a vast potential for innovation, sustainability, and global competitiveness. For this reason only I mentioned in my last class, in my last presentation, we need to we need to start our this one research right from our students project in whichever the colleges we are in the teaching. Either it may be undergraduation level or post-graduation level. We need to make our students to take up more and more agri-related or agricultural business-related research and developmental activities. If we start, or if you made them to start work on this on research work on agriculture, they will also find some means. They will also get some interest to do contribution for an agricultural post-production activities itself. I think this is well enough with respect to this topic, because many of the things, as I mentioned, are already covered by my previous presenter. Because by looking out of his presentation, I deleted many of the things which I planned earlier, because I don't want to make the things to be get duplicated in the same day. It's not going to be have any sense of telling the same thing this one repeatedly. For that reason, I shortcutted my presentation. I tried my level best to tell this is an untapped aspects which we can easily make our still further research and development or innovations or any startups in this agriculture related, especially post-harvest technological or post-harvest startups in our this one Indian economy. This is going to be an untapped or unsaturated still, where we can mix our careers, students' careers, or makes our R&D in a more well manner as compared to any other areas, maybe as compared to a sector that is in a secondary sector as well as in a tertiary sector itself. If we have any queries or any questions, please post to me, as like I will try to answer your queries. Okay, parallelly, this one I have some queries in our chat box. Let me go one by one. Vinayaka Kulkarni, how do startups in the food technology sector impact Indian agricultural supply chains? How does the Food Safety Standards Authority of India ensures the food quality? No doubt. You have asked a very relevant questions for today's aspects. The first question is, how do startup in the food technology sector impact the Indian agricultural supply chain? No doubt. For example, if you motivate the people to come up with their own startup in an agriculture sector, obviously at that moment in the Obviously at that moment only the products will going to be get converted into value added products. It's by that reason even it will avoids the further wastage during the transportation. No need of a big or a vast warehouses to store the raw products. Also if you convert into value added products, for example if you take in a dry chilies, that is in a green, that's a red chilies. If you converted red chilies into an oleoresin, that's an oil which is extracted from that that's one red chilies, obviously we can store it in a small container and we can import it to any other countries in a smaller quantity also. If you start that's one exporting the chilies as it is to other countries, by the reaching the other countries it will get in a fungus or maybe it will get in a bacteria growth on the chilies also, because most of our agriculture products are moisture based products. Without moisture the nutritional value is not going to be retained in the agriculture product. Either it may be a rice or this one bajra or wheat or any other products. So if you get converted into a value added products, it will one sided it will gives an a employment opportunities in that particular production area, as well as it will reduce the further activities or maybe in a wastage of the products in the further activities also. And the next question is the same by Vinayak Kulkarni. How does the food safety standard, that's an FSSI, ensures the quality? No doubt this is a nodal agency. Being an FSSI, even they have a sub officers even at all the district levels. District level also they have their own officers. Whoever wanted to do any food business, either catering business, food production or processing or selling business, either it may be retailer or in a wholesaler, they need to abide the rules and regulations which is set by our norms as per the FSSI. And on every fortnight they will do a surprise food quality checks also, because maintaining a public health is also by health, that's a food products is an agenda of an FSSI objective. Even they are going to be cross check the food products at every batch of the products will going to be produced at a factory level, even at a cooking, even on the catering, even in the small canteens also they will come and do a surprise visit to ensure the food quality is going to be maintained before it serves to in a publics itself. And again the same this one next question was then again asked by Vinayak Kulkarni. How does cold chain logistics influence the growth and efficiency of the food processing industry in India? No doubt, as I mentioned you, if we have an end to end or maybe encrypted this one supply chain or a well efficient supply chain, it easily reach the products from production to a destiny one. For that reason the food loss will going to be reduced. If we reduce the time of a transportation, even the production, that's in our food grain production, the food products loss will also going to be reduced to a maximum extent. For that reason cold chain matlab it's nothing but in the modified atmosphere premises where you will going to be controlled the temperature as per your requirement, where you can preserve the products for a longer time. For example, if you want, I will tell you the example of a potato, aloo, that's in a potato. If you stored this potato in supply this on cold storage, you can store it even for more than 8 to 10 months also. If you store the raw potato in your home at a room temperature at around 25 or 26 degree normal temperature, maximum you can store maximum 10 to 15 days. After 10 to 15 days, you will going to be either find the potato will going to be shrinked itself, the skin, upper skin will going to be get shrink and it will going to lose the this one weight of that potato, as well as sometimes if the moisture period you will going to be find the potato will going to be sprout there itself only. Sprout. That's why this cold chain will going to be even for some vegetables or some products like maybe the tamarind. The tamarind, if you keep in store, if you store in cold storage without color loss, without any nutritional loss of a tamarind, you can store more than 2 years in a cold storage also. That kind of a benefit or an advantages we are getting through this cold storage. That's why for all kind of fruits, for example, if you take your home, whenever you purchase the fruits and vegetables, if you keep in a refrigerator of your home, it will prolong the shelf life for more than 4 to 5 days or even up to in a weekdays also. If you keep open the leafy vegetables like coriander or curry leaf, within 24 hours it will lose the colors or maybe aesthetic and everything itself. Okay, that's why the cold storage will going to be a game changer, especially for an agricultural food processing industry. Okay. And One second. I will take up other questions.
So I'll just read it out for you.
Yeah, please.
It's like quality standards are not effective in India comparatively. So why is it?
Definitely, for that reason, being an FSSI as well as other line departments, they need to be work hard in creating an awareness about an food standards regulations. As compared to in a Western country, still the regulations are not that effective, are not to an upper level implementation in countries like in India. It requires its own time because as you are aware, it's a very vast country and it's a very diversified and different agroclimatic regions. It's this is one more big challenge for an Indian this one agricultural food technological industry to create an awareness about the food regulations or food safety. It
So earlier there
requires
was
its
some
own time. For
question.
that,
Earlier there was some
coordinating
question in the
efforts
chat
from all the
box.
stakeholders is important.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. So earlier there was a question in the chat box. It says, Mr. Santosh Deshpande asked, like, could you share some insights on cloud kitchens? Any possible future of this business?
Definitely,
And
definitely. Cold storage influence moisture content of the food. Cloud kitchens is also going to be help because as you mentioned in that video, that's in a Taj stats, everything they are going to get within sometimes in a lesser time also. They are going to be change the order, the quantity of the order, even the quality also. Everything in the future days, IoT as well as AI will going to be help the food technological sector in a very greater manner. Cloud kitchens will also going to be helps in a lot manner, make our agriculture food sector with a more sustainable manner, sustainability itself.
yes. So having understood all this, the kind of recent developments that are happening, but still, I think one question which says, like, why Indian food is not making way in the international way or international lights?
Sir, because sir, in majority, except the India, in many of the countries, they are liking more often a Western foods. Slightly nowadays, the things are
Correct.
they also start liking our Indian foods. Probably it requires still more time. If you go to some states of in America, like especially Texas and all, you will finding especially the Indian restaurants. One of my friend recently who has returned from an America, he was mentioning and he was showing his video, this one photograph in Texas. In Texas state, they are having in a even the Indian restaurant in a Kannada signboard also.
Oh,
That
wonderful.
kind of in a develop that things are getting this one developing, but it's getting slow. Probably in coming in another decades, probably people will going to get more prefer of an Indians.
Wonderful.
That's
Wonderful.
why there is one slogan earlier days during 70s, especially for manufacturing sector. This proverb earlier days 70s and 60s. If anybody before purchasing any machinery products, they will going to if the things are made in Germany, they will give first preferences. And those
Yeah.
days they found made in India, they are it is the least bothered. Wherein in nowadays, if you looked out in a global market, if they find any products mentioned as a made in India, they will give started prominence to an Indian products first.
Correct.
Because
Correct.
overseas attraction is not that easy as we are talking across the desktop here. It requires its own challenges, difficulties. Definitely in the coming days, there is a good scope or a good demand for Indian products even in the overseas markets also.
Yes. Yes. Wonderful. So there's one question by Mr. Akhil Deshpande.
Yeah,
Does cold storage influence moisture content of the food?
correct.
This is the question. Does cold storage influence the moisture content of the food?
Definitely, certainly, because any food grains, for example, if you observed in that traditional method of food this one preservations, whatever the methods they are having earlier, either maybe dipping in honey or sun drying or anything, their main aim is to avoid or to slow down the growth of the bacteria, virus and other itself. Even in the cold storage, the main principle is to slow down the bacteria and virus growth on the food products in the content of the foods. Obviously, the cold storage influences the moisture content. For that reasons, if you this one seized or if you slow down the growth of a virus or a bacteria in the food item, it will prolongs the shelf life by maintaining the quality and nutritional aspects.
Yes. So there's a question by Professor Amit Kulkarni.
Yeah.
He says like, sir, development of cold storages in this part of the country is becoming a challenge. Please throw some light on this.
No, it's not at all a challenge because if you want, I will give one good example of Karnataka only. In Karnataka, there is a place called as a Badgi, which
Badgi.
is quite
Yes.
famous for the chili markets. I don't know
Yes.
how many of the participants are seen or observed or had a knowledge about this city. It is in a Tashil place. It's in a taluka. It's a small taluka place. In only in the city, in the city like in a Badgi, we are having more than 100 cold storage houses are there. And in Badgi, on the in NH4 patch, that's in National Highway 4, if you proceed Haveri, from Haveri to this one Ranebenur, there's a place called. You are finding three dry chilies processing plant were there where they are converting there, where they are extracting oil from a dry chilies and 100% they are exporting to the Europe Union countries.
Yes.
Extraction of an oil from the red chilies, oil they are exporting 100%, they are exporting even to the European countries as well as an American states also. Definitely, that's why from last 3 decades, the Karnataka government, especially through this agriculture department, they are giving in a good subsidies for the cold storages. Even in Hubli also, we are having more than 50 cold storages in city called as in Hubli, which is a quite famous city in an Karnataka state. Even in Hubli also there are plenty, even though it is in a dry region. That's why the cold storages are going to be a game changer, which will enhance the shelf life of our agriculture products for for making future or tomorrow's better.
Correct. Right, sir. So there's one more question by Akhil Deshpande. Sir, I've observed that seafood coming to Belgaum from Goa in cold storage is still not fresh. How
Correct.
can the quality of seafood be maintained other than using a cold
Very,
storage?
very true. I even, in fact, I also heard because I am not observed because I am not an non-vegetarian. I am purely veggie. In fact, I told by many of my friends, they are not maintaining the things as per the scientific manner. Cold storage is not meaning that simply they are bringing in an ice cold box itself. For some specific products, some products needs to every other products are required to have their own minimum temperatures. If you maintain as per that scientific way, definitely the shelf life will going to be enhanced, and even the this one freshness will also going to be maintained for a longer period. The same thing if you go and see in other maybe Pune and Mumbai, definitely will find a fresh products which was exported or which was sent same from Goa only. Only thing they are not going to be maintaining properly. That is the reason. That's why I mentioned awareness and educating is the most important aspects.
Yes. So thank you so much, sir. I think so. These are all the questions that we had. So
Surely,
wonderful.
sir. Thank
Again,
you,
I
sir.
think this is a level up from your previous session that we had. Definitely bringing more audio and visuals both together, and the two classic videos that you bought, that is mega kitchens of Indira Gandhi, and even the honey preparation, preservation, and consumption, the entire process.
And
I think it really added more value to your sessions today, and I'm sure that participants also equally enjoyed hearing to
yeah,
you.
in fact, even they can also browse openly in the Google. In fact, I downloaded from Google and I showed it here. It's not
Correct.
this one.
Correct.
This one.
But
As like
it's the
there are
appness,
plenty of the
it's the
videos.
appness that you could just connect for today's session, and it was really syncing well with your talk, sir.
No, no.
Wonderful.
It's just an this one direction where they can browse and they can get some more insights about how in what direction the Indian food technology sector is growing or it's going. As like even they can plan up their further research or maybe their careers or any their startups also. Whoever wants their own angle.
Correct. Yes, sir. So I think absolutely it was a wonderful session, sir, today. So thank
Thank
you
you,
so
sir.
much. Thank you so much for
Once
your
again,
wonderful.
thanks for all the organizers and patience hearing audience. Thanks for giving an opportunity where I can share my thoughts with respect to food technological India. Thank you once again. Sarve
Thank
Jano
you, sir.
Sukhno Bhavantu.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, participants, please note the feedback link has been shared into the chat box. And just a last piece of note, kindly pay your attention for tomorrow's session. Tomorrow is going to be a very long day, as we have, so totally we have got 3 sessions tomorrow